So, Jamie, it's good to have you here with us, and it was good to talk to Agro.
Yes, it was just on the end of my arm, so it was easy enough to do.
Exactly. So, now I've got some questions for you now.
Hit me.
So, what inspired you to enter TV and radio in the first place?
Well, I used to be a singer-songwriter. I wrote a song for the original guy that did Agro. Before me, there was a guy who did it for a year before me. And I copied his voice in the middle, and that's how they had a problem with him. They gave him the boot, rang me at home and said, can you come and do the Agro voice Saturday morning live television? I'll talk to you then. And that was it. And I did Saturday morning television live the very night. I practiced the voice all the night before. I got on television live the next morning, and a guy crawls up to me and holds a sign up, and the sign said, can you please make the puppet's mouth move when he speaks?
So that would have been in the 80s, right?
Yes, about 1982, I think.
Interesting. So, my next question, how hard did you find it trying to make it in the industry? Because everybody knows that show business is a really, really tough business to make it in. I mean, even The Simpsons had a famous quote, like, you're on top of the world and then the next minute you're just some schmo working in a box factory.
Well, it wasn't that hard for me because I initially didn't care about Agro or what he said. I just turned up to get some money on a Saturday morning, and so I didn't really prepare. It was mostly ad lib, and for some strange reason, I think maybe his eyebrow has a lot to do with it, but he just took off, and wow, I think that in entertainment, if you try too hard, you won't get anywhere, like someone thrashing around the pool, like a swimmer. But if you get a bit of style about you, like old Agro, I didn't care about it, so there wasn't any pressure there. And then before I knew it, he was, the highest paid thing on Australian television.
Did you actually think that, like, when you were starting Agro, that it would become as big as what it did?
Nah, not at all. Not at all. Not at all. I just took it and I thought, oh, well, who's going to make money out of this? And then, strangely enough, we used to sell 50,000 show bags at the Brisbane show, 50,000 at the Sydney show, I don't know, 25 at the Melbourne, right the way around Australia. It just took off for some reason.
A majority of Agro's run was filmed in South Australia, I believe.
No. All of Agro stuff was filmed in Queensland until maybe the last year was filmed in Sydney.
Did you find it, filming in Brisbane, did you find it hard to relate to sort of the other states, like with your concept?
No, not at all. Not at all. Funny's funny, Matt.
Exactly.
Not at all. I think sometimes in Sydney people go, oh, well, it's not good because it doesn't come from Sydney. But these days, and even when we're doing Agro, funny's funny. It can be funny anywhere. So it was easy, yeah.
Exactly. I'm going to ask you probably the same question as I asked Agro earlier. You had a number of different co-hosts. You had Anne-Marie, Holly Brisley, Teresa, another person, I forgot the name because I have a short memory, the first person. But who was your favourite co-host?
Yeah, my favourite co-host was the first person, Jill.
Jill, that's it.
Yeah, Jill Ray. And I still work with Jill Ray today. I don't work with any of the others, just Jill.
Oh, because, that sort of ties up my next question.
Because, like Jill, she would arrive early and leave late. She had a great work ethic. She was a lovely person, still is a lovely person. But if a kid said to Jill, I've got a new bike, well, she would say, that's great. What colour is it? And they'd go, oh, it's red. And she'd have a conversation. But for some of the others, they go, I got a new bike. And they go, oh, that's great. You know what I mean? So Jill had something going for her.
So do you still talk to any of your other sort of crew members or people associated with Agro?
Yeah, I actually work on radio with Crikey the Clown. I'm going to Gibbo's surprise birthday party tonight. Let me see. Teresa is in Los Angeles still auditioning for different things and trying to do stuff. The only one I don't get to talk to much is Holly. But that's about it.
I think she went on and did some work on Home and Away and those sort of shows.
Oh, she was great. Well, I was so proud of her on Home and Away. I really was.
Do you think that Agro came out at just the right time? Like, do you think, for example, Agro would have worked in the 60s, the 70s? Do you think that the fact that it came into the grungy era, the grungy alternative era known as the 90s, that's why it was so successful?
Yeah, I think so. I think agro became. I see it now. I was walking through the house. I don't know, a couple of years ago, and the kids went, "Hey, Dad, you're on YouTube." And I had a look, and I thought, "Oh my Lord," I was disgusting. So I thought, well, I'll either be a cult hero or I'll be in prison. But as it turns out, I think agro probably is somewhere around cult hero status.
Because yeah, the nineties was a time when when it was all about sort of anger and that grouchy sort of grunge alternative feel, and aggro pretty much bought that in spades. I think it's safe to
Yeah,
say.
yeah, yeah. And, the fact was that agro I didn't sort of, I didn't care what agro said, like it was kind of off the cuff and no one ever complained until we started doing C-class stuff. But, yeah, I agree with you. I think it was, everyone was much more relaxed. Look at now, before you do a show now, you got to get permission from this person, from that person, from this other person, and you got to give some guarantees.
So do you think? Do you think if aggro was to? Do you think if aggro was to either start or to come back on now, would it be successful, or do you think it would sort of flop?
I don't know. I think I'd be able to treat it the same way. I did Sunrise on Mel's last day, and they had the most hits they'd had on that site, for that year. So, I guess he's popular, but I don't know whether I'd be able to keep it up. It's a valid question. Who knows? Maybe he wouldn't be successful.
Over time, did you feel that when aggro started in 1989, did you feel that you had to evolve its sort of style all the way up until 97? Like, do you think by 97 it was sort of like it was it was a different sort of style compared to when it?
No, aggro just did what he did. He was the same all the way through. He was cheeky. He was naughty. He was conniving. He was two-timing. He was, he pre-planned terrible things. Like when we did the Logies with Daryl Summers, we got strict instructions because Diana Ross, was supposed to do it from the Gold Coast, do a cross to us. And she pulled out at the last minute, and then Daryl turns to me and says, "Don't mention Diana Ross." But I had got a small pizza from Pizza Hut, and I put it under the lectern. And when the show came that night, Daryl's going, "Welcome to the Logies of the day," and Agro goes, "Oh, excuse me, Daryl." He didn't know anything about this. He says, "Excuse me, Daryl, under here. And he looked at it and he pulled out this small pizza box. And he goes, "What's this?" And I said, "Well, we can't mention Dinah Ross, but I've got the Supremes." And he had a bit of a chuckle. Well, he didn't have a chuckle. He wasn't too impressed. But anyway, it was live television. That's what I prefer to do. So aggro was the same at the end of it as he was at the start of it. Yeah, it was good.
Pretty much, yeah. So obviously the biggest difference between Cheese TV and Aggro's Cartoon Connection was Cheese TV sort of didn't have, well, for starters, they didn't have a puppet, and it was more of a two-host sort of format, whilst Aggro was a puppet and a female co-host.
Yeah, I think the biggest difference between Cheese TV and Cartoon Connection was talent.
Exactly. It was so much better. So why did they move it to Sydney in its final season?
Because they had a new plan for the network, and they decided that all children's would be out of Sydney. But I think they were setting it up to wind it down anyway, if you know what I mean.
How did that make you feel when, for whatever reason, for why it went off air? How did that make you feel the minute it sort of finished?
Oh, like anything, like when if you can't take getting hit in the face with a shovel, don't get into television or radio.
Now, Aggro did talk about what happened, but I'd like to hear why did Aggro sort of stop exactly? Why was it?
Because Disney literally took that time slot. 7 allocated that time slot to Disney, who bought that time slot. So Aggro was produced out of the 7 network, by the 7 network, and Disney bought that time slot. So it was just pretty straightforward, really.
What did you end up doing with yourself after Aggro's Cartoon Connection? What was
I did. I was at B105 in Brisbane, which is whereabouts are you? What state are you in?
I'm in Melbourne.
Okay, well, it was like Fox FM then.
Oh yeah.
I was doing breakfast on the equivalent of Fox in Brisbane, so you know.
There were many different highlights of Agro's Cartoon Connection. What was your favorite? What was your most memorable and most favorite moment in the show's run?
Oh,
Like,
well, it doesn't even, my favourite moment doesn't even involve Agro. It was Gibbo. There was a big guy on the show called Gibbo. And he decided to do, what is it when you fold paper? What's that called? Origami. Yeah. He decided to do an origami segment, but I didn't know, because we did everything live, kind of, you know, just to make it up on the spot. And under the desk, he picked up a couple of props. I know there was a plastic seagull and things like that. And he folded some paper and then, folded the paper around and then put it under the desk. And with it a second, he said, and see, I've made a seagull. And for some reason, that stayed with me my whole life.
which, like, was that early in its run or later?
No, about midway through, yeah.
Yeah. Out of all the cartoons that they put on Agro, which do you think was the best cartoon or your favourite cartoon that they put? And I should have asked that question to Agro earlier as well, but it slipped my mind.
Well, that's all right. I used to like, okay, maybe it's because Agro was growing up, but he really liked She-Ra, Princess of Power.
When it comes to superhero cartoons, did Agro's Cartoon Connection play majority DC or Marvel?
Oh, geez, I can't remember. I think possibly Marvel.
Marvel's Spider-Man and like all those sort of the Avengers
yes,
and DC's like your classic Batman, Wonder Woman sort of thing.
Nah, I think Spider-Man was more us, yeah.
So yeah, you sounds like you're at the Marvel camp.
Yeah.
Did you ever how would you ever feel about doing a feature film with Agro? Would that be fun for you, or what would you feel?
Oh yeah. We've toyed that around a couple of times. Matter of fact, I had a meeting last year with a guy that was talking about doing a feature film with Agro. He flew me to Sydney. We had a couple of drinks, and this is what he wanted to do. But it hasn't progressed to the next level yet. Films take forever.
If it does come out, I'll be sure to see it. I can guarantee you that.
I'll send you a free ticket.
Yeah. Oh, thank you very much. Thank you. So, obviously it would be a chance to sort of bring Agro back into the spotlight again.
Yeah, I think he has that potential. Personally, I think there's a chance that Agro could come back. You never know.
Do you still have the same puppet, or would it need to be reconstructed again?
When we did Perfect Match, they didn't like the old puppet. They wanted a fresh, new-looking one, and they made a new one. So that's the one I got now.
And that's still intact very well.
Yeah.
Are you allowed to bring it round, or is it property of the Seven Network?
It belongs to the Seven Network, but they let me use it.
Oh, that's really good. That's really good then. Do you think that television's golden era is sort of over? Because there was a time, and it's actually an interesting question because I ask a lot of people that, and it's a really debatable thing. Like,
I don't think really. I think you're absolutely right. It's not that its golden era is over. It is that the whole industry has changed.
I mean, because there was a time when sometimes people say it's just because you were young then everything felt special, and now you're older, or you're not living in the moment anymore, so you don't realize it until it's over. But do you think there was a time when television was a whole lot better than what it is now?
Oh yeah. As a matter of fact, I just watched some Paul Hogan specials this morning. And, it was funny. It was there. It was happening. But the point is, I watched those Paul Hogan specials on YouTube. So communication has changed so much. I mean, cameras. You can shoot a camera with something you can hold in your hand. You know what I mean? You don't need a studio. And as a matter of fact, most of the things that get the most hits are the stuff that were, eyewitness accounts of either disasters or funny things happening or whatever, and they're shot instantly. Or you can put a message up on Instagram, or you can, there's a whole stack of communication changes that just murder television, really.
Exactly. I mean, and also, if you were shooting like a video or something back in the 80s, you would have to film it on those big old camcorders that would put it onto VCR.
Exactly. And if you've got a smartphone now, you can virtually shoot an entire series.
So in other words, pretty much to make it in TV now, you can't deny YouTube.
No, and and all the rest of it, because what's happened to television or happening to television is the same as is happening to your professional photographers. They can't get work because everyone's got a smartphone that takes pictures. How many people do their wedding photography on their smartphone?
Exactly.
One of their friends.
So
then they edit it up, and they can do a little movie on their computer. They can do whatever they want. So photographers, professional photographers, are certainly feeling what television's feeling. It's got the world to compete with. Someone I know can take a video, to do a video in Los Angeles now and send it to me in 2 minutes' time, and I can put it on YouTube in 3 minutes' time. So compete with that.
So what advice can you give to young people that want to make it in TV and make it in show business? What would your advice be?
Well, exactly what I said to you before. If you can't stand someone saying, look, I need a host, he needs to live in Melbourne, his first name needs to be Matt, which is why we have chosen Jerry over in the corner there. And if you can't stand to hear no and stand up and go and do something else within the business, well, get in another business, because this one's tough. But there's one thing that doesn't change, Matt.
And what's that?
You have to have the talent.
That is true. People still pull you up on the street now and say, hey, you're Agro.
Yeah, occasionally, and then I get him out, because I've always got him in the boot, and I get him out and have a photograph with him, and they love it. It goes up on Facebook and right the way around the world. I love the new technology, don't you?
Who's probably your biggest inspiration, sort of thing, in the entertainment industry? Because you've probably inspired a lot of people that have grown up watching your show. Was there anybody that really, like, for example, Jim Henson, Frank Oz? Was there anybody that really?
Nah, not really. I just enjoy anyone who's Australian, like the Glenn Robbins type person. I like, who is, Glenn's clever, and he's well rehearsed, and he knows where the gag is. And you find characters he does, like Russell Coit, when he did Uncle Arthur, that was based on his father. He saw. They're the sort of people I like. I like the Steve Martins in the American style of thing. Also, if you don't like the Three Stooges, don't talk to me.
That's fair enough, and they're quite good, I must admit.
Not quite. They are brilliant.
Exactly. Well, it's been a great pleasure talking to you, Jamie Dunn and Agro.
Yeah, me too, mate. I love talking to you. Thank you.
And who knows, like I said to Agro, we might see you back on TV again, we might not. And if you definitely release a feature film, I will definitely come to its premiere.
All right, 10-4. It might be me and you in the audience clapping, but it doesn't matter. We'll do it.
Before you go, could we get you to do a quick sting for my Time Warp show? Just something like, hey, this is Jamie Dunn and Agro, and you're listening to Time Warp, or something like that.
Okay. You ready?
Yep.
G'day, this is Agro. Say something, you fool. Oh, and Jamie Dunn. You're listening to Time Warp with Matt, me good mate Matt.